Hi, I'm Carly Strasser, and I'm here representing the Zuckerberg Initiative, and specifically the Open Science Program and how we've been investing in diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Zuckerberg Initiative has been around for about 5 years, and they have a strong commitment to DEI issues writ large. So in 2020, Mark and Priscilla committed $500 million over the next 5 years to support organizations and leaders addressing racial equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that's across the entire CZI organization, including the science program. The science program's mission is to support the science and tech that will make it possible to cure, prevent, or manage all diseases by the end of this century. And CZI science is comprised of 5 areas of focus. And one of those areas is open science, which is the program that I'm representing. And if you want to learn more about our strategy and how we invest, you can go to the URL here on the screen. So in terms of DEI, we really think that making science open means everyone can participate. So there's a lot of overlap in open science activities and DEI activities. We think of these things as very much intertwined as we go forth and invest in areas of science. We have 3 main areas that we focused on for DEI, and I'm going to go through each of these one at a time. So the first is communities of practice, and we think of this as these are groups of people who share a common concern, a set of problems, or an interest in a topic, and they come together to fulfill both individual and group goals. So the communities of practice we're supporting have the goal of increasing representation and equity in scientific computing. The common characteristics of these communities of practice are that they are the best connections into underrepresented communities. They are often volunteer run, and they're often difficult to support financially because they lack fundamental infrastructure for taking grants. So the 4 groups that we funded in this space initially, we've provided $1.5 million in funding over 2 years across these 4. One is Black in AI, which works to increase the presence of Black people in the AI space. Data Umbrella, which is a newer organization that provides an educational space for underrepresented folks in ML, AI, and data science. Outreachy, which is a more established organization that provides paid remote internships to people subject to systemic bias. And OSTEM, or Out in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and that helps the LGBTQ+ STEM professional community succeed. The second area of investment is the Supplemental EOS Grants. If you're not familiar with the Essential Open Source Software for Science program, it was started in 2019. We've had 4 cycles and supported over 100 projects for a total of 23 million. These projects are supported for things like maintenance, growth, development, and community engagement, and they can be domain-specific or foundational, with 100 to 400K total in funding over 2 years. We just announced this week our 5th cycle of the request for applications. So the letters of intent are due April 19th, and you can apply at the URL there below. That's all a preface to talk to you about the DEI Supplemental Grant Program. The goal of this was to build participation, retention, and leadership progression for contributors from underrepresented groups in scientific open source software. So we decided to fund DEI interventions in select EOSS projects, things like internships, mentoring programs, workshops, improvements to documentation. We were interested in a broad range of dimensions in underrepresentation, things like gender, ethnicity, race, geographic location, and accessibility. And we encouraged partnerships between the open source project maintainers and leading organizations in the DEI space. For example, Outreachy is one of the partnerships that was funded through this program. So we funded 14 proposals for a total of $5 million. And then finally, education and capacity building investments. So similarly to the story of open science and DEI, we think a third part of this triangle is training and education. This enables participation in open science across a broad range of participants and individuals. So generally, our education and capacity building strategy is looking to support increased awareness of open science benefits, tools, and best practices, training for researchers to engage in computational reproducibility, and expanding the global participation in biomedical research through better access to tools and methods. And we recently funded 4 grants in this space for a total of 1.7 million. Some of these organizations are very well established, like the Carpentries, We also funded relatively new organization, Meta, which helps Spanish-speaking researchers, teachers, and professionals to provide online computational training. Open Life Science and our OpenSci were also funded in this round. And that's it for me. I wanted to shout out to the rest of the Open Science team, Dario, Kate, and Esteban. You can reach all of us with the email at the top of the screen here. And if you don't already receive our monthly newsletter, you should email us to get added to the list. We announce new requests for applications that are open and also provide information about our grantees and what they're up to. Thank you very much.